Good evening and welcome to the home of all things historical gaming in and around the great city of Savannah, Georgia. I'm Mike Baker, your Gator, and welcome to Gator's Garage. I'm here with my buddy Randy. Say hi, Randy.
Hey, everybody.
Go say hi, Randy. And before
Say
we
hi,
get too deep
Randy.
into this thing, we'll ask you to do all the YouTube things. Click like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. If you want to support the channel, best way to do that is to buy some merch from our store. Link in the description below. If you want to buy us a cup of coffee on Ko-fi or Patreon, that'd be all right too. But first of all, we appreciate your eyeballs. Got kind of an interesting show tonight. If you've been keeping up with the Gator at all, you know that we've been working with HMGS Savannah to put on the 2025 Spring Bolt Action Tournament. Randy, I think this is our third one, right?
Yeah, as far as V3, but I think this is the first one of the year, isn't it?
It's well, it is our third V3, but I think it's our third spring tournament too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, going back a few years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been in Savannah now going on 4 years. I don't know that we did anything the first year we were here. But anyway, so we've been doing this a while. And like Randy said, it's probably our third version 3 tournament. And so far, the first two have been well received and well attended. Thank you guys for your support. None of this would work without players to come around and take advantage and see, all the good tables and all the fun scenarios and spend time and have fellowship. So, like I say, 2025 spring tournament with the Savannah Garrison. Probably going to be a short one tonight. We're just kind of running you through some of the things that we're doing as part of our preliminary. I'm going to blow this screen up just a little bit so I can see it. Um, Randy, any thoughts before we get this show rolling?
Um, no, just the fact that we've got probably our biggest attendance as far as the tournament goes. Um, so things are really hopping. I think V3 is drawing a lot more tournament players than V2 did.
You may be right, and you're right. This is our biggest. I think our last biggest one was 14. This time we're at somewhere between 17 and 18. So really good. We had one player drop. So we've got 17. So if you get this before Saturday and you want to come on up, I can probably slide you in. If you can, shoot me your list so I can have it as part of the package. But it's going to be a good event. We're also going to be doing open play. So I'll be there with some extra bolt action things. If you want to come up and just get a casual 700-point game in, I can usually work that in between rounds while I'm waiting on the players to finish hammering away at each other. You can grab a friend and come on over to a live church. We'll have a couple of extra tables set up for open play. Big thing is come out, meet the guys, and enjoy the fellowship. So here we go. Um, Prizes. Did I mention we have prizes? Everybody's going to walk away
Looks
with something.
really awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like these the little graveyard for dice too. What's the little box on the just on top of it that's got the little slots in it? What is that?
So that is a whole player kit that's done by a friend of mine called Sword Scabbard Productions. And as a matter of fact, I'll be carrying his product line. That is actually the German box. It's got a German cross on the top.
I
I'm going to
see
carry the
that.
British,
Yeah.
Soviet, and U.S. This actually is going to be one of our prizes. So what
Nice.
goes in there is the markers that you see down there, which have
Ah,
pin markers. Yeah, I didn't get as good a shot of that as I would have liked. Um, Bombardment markers, turret markers, just all the markers you might need for your bolt action. I know Warlord does something similar, but theirs are one color. These are dark and they look really good. Um, and then they all fit in the little slots there. Like Randy said, there's a dice graveyard. There's also a dice carrier. This kit will actually come with, you can see it just up to the left there, will come with a set of the silver tournament dice. So you'll get a full set of silver tournament dice and the kit, which is the first of a new product line that Gator Games and Books will be stocking. So you'll get it here first if you show up at the tournament. At least
that's
somebody
pretty
will anyway.
cool. I
Thank you,
like it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Gray was like, "Hey, what do you think?" So I had him send me one of these, and I'm like, that looks pretty good. So this kind of gives me a chance to kind of so what I'm looking for, kind of preview it for him too. There's also a compass rose on there that
Yeah, I see
also
that.
doubles as a blast template. So, really, it's everything a bolt action player would need in that one box, which is really awesome. Let's see, and then I'm donating the Panard armor, the Panard armored car. which can be used
Oh,
either by the French or the Germans, and is a
so
good little armored car in its own right.
yeah, Mike, one thing you don't have in there, which I will be bringing, uh, it's the Jag the Panther.
And it's a Rubicon, so somebody
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Very cool. Very
yeah,
cool. Yeah. I was seeing online where someone sent Rubicon a note for a bolt action tournament, and I'll have to remember that for next year because they've apparently provided some very generous prize support. So it may be something for me to consider. They're not a product line that Gator Games carries at this point. It may be something worth doing. I've got bolt action tanks. I've got resin tanks. Don't know if I got room in my product line for another line of armor, but Rubicon I know makes some very highly regarded kits.
yeah.
And
So
of course,
that'll
our
be
friends
just
over there.
surprise. Uh, that'll be just surprise donated by me. Something that
That is
I'm
fantastic.
not using. So yeah,
Well, and I do something similar sometimes at cons. I'll take, like, I think I had a game that Trish had bought that I couldn't sell it for nothing. It was, secondhand. It was still in the shrink wrap. And so I took it to a con and I donated it to the prize pool. So, if you have it's something to think about if you're watching the video here. If you got things laying around that you're not using, consider donating them to a local tournament or to a local convention for them to use as
yep,
part of the prize pool. That's always good. Let's see. Oh, and then Wargames Atlantic is providing German 3 boxes of German sentries. Everybody who comes is going to get a German sentry sprue. So those are good for all kinds of
we
things.
don't need
If
any
you're
more
German,
dog mines. We don't want no more
yeah,
dog
there are
mines.
dogs there. But only for the Soviets. That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah, so Soviet player gets a double bonus from this, doesn't he?
yeah,
He's got German sentries he can use for his objectives, and then he's got dog mines to harass your tanks.
yeah.
That's one of those things that I think is a lot more effective in bolt action than they were in real life.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ranks right up there. There was a little discussion on YouTube or Facebook actually about that, and the Polish Lancers were another one that in real life they were, you know, just cannon fodder, but in bolt action they're like OP.
Well, I will say, and especially on the Eastern Front, there were times when that cavalry was darn useful, but nobody in their right mind generally you World War II was even more than the earlier periods. You never took cavalry mounted up against prepared troops. Now the Soviets did some things like there's a picture at least that's purported to have Soviet Cossacks chasing German troops after Kursk. And then I've got a scenario in Squad Leader called Debacle at Kroston, where a Soviet cavalry company rampages through a half asleep German town and just raises all kinds of hell. But yeah, other than that, mounted
Yeah,
troops on the modern battlefield it's like painting a big hit me on them.
ask the British about the charge of the Light Brigade, right?
Oh my gosh. Would you believe I actually saw someone make a game of that in, I think it was 40 millimeter?
Really,
The table
40
was like
millimeter.
18 feet long and they timed it like by the minute or by the 5 minutes.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
gosh.
why would this be fun? Somebody please explain this to me. It was beautiful. It looked great. It was a themed
Yeah,
game. That was the theme of it was a themed game of the con was to charge the light brigade or failed
the
charges. But I'm
the
like,
Kobayashi
no,
Maru of both of wargaming.
I think the Kobayashi Maru would be at least more fun.
Yeah,
Holy Hannah. Wow. So there you go. So guys, yeah. So hey, this is our hobby. This is what we do. I love it. I actually would love to do if I ever do Soviets, I'm probably going to do Cav because I would love to do a Soviet mixed cavalry armor formation. That would just be a lot of fun, but boy, it'd be expensive because you got to buy all the mounted guys, then you got to buy all the dismounted guys. But man, it'd be a fun one to do. And they're like the German Fallschirmjägers. They
yeah.
wore the blue trousers even during
Hmm.
combat. So
It's a shame the
it's forced
British
to
can't
do.
get cavalry.
No, they phased their cavalry out after World War One.
After the charge of the Light Brigade.
That was the Crimean War.
Let's do away with
Yeah.
that. We don't need them anymore.
Oh, yeah. So the Polish Lancers are pretty potent, huh?
Yeah, I'd
Gosh.
like to see them up
Yeah, because
against tanks. I don't understand how the close combat they get two strikes against a tank.
that's funny.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
just something they're gonna have to. If anything, I would give them half strikes against tank, if
Yeah.
anything. Wow. Wow. Uh, I did. I do remember reading somewhere though, and you might want to look this up. Crew, you guys might want to look this up as well. I want to say the Germans or the British got a hold of an Enigma machine because a Polish cavalry unit overran a German headquarters unit and captured an Enigma machine and sent it
Hmm.
to England.
Really?
I would have to look that up. Yeah, yeah. So, and again,
Interesting.
the debacle at Croston is the same thing. It's a cavalry unit attacking a rear area headquarters unit. So they
Yeah.
had their uses, but charging
Yeah.
tanks was not one of them. So there
No.
you go. Wow. So don't worry, there's no cavalry in this set. It's all, in our prize support, it's all pretty traditional type stuff. I
Yeah.
think folks are going to really enjoy the prize pool. Let's see here. Tournament prep tips. Um, wow. And Randy, I'm sure you've done all this, right?
Yeah, let's see. Let me look down this list here. Make sure you have your accessories. Sometimes I fail on that one.
What do you usually bring for accessories?
Well, like I went to Chris's house last weekend to play, and I left my dice rolling box with it had my laser in it, my D3 in it, my objective markers, all that was in it, sitting here at the house. So, well, you know, it's something that's not in my dice box, so it's easy to forget if I don't,
Sure.
make a checklist. That's the thing you do. To triple check your list, make a checklist. Write it down so
Right.
you can go, okay, I got that, I got that, I got that, because you will forget
You're,
stuff if you don't.
you're not, yeah. I mean, there's not a checklist on here. So one thing it's not on here, but yeah, triple check, make a checklist and triple check it. Now I will tell you when I do bolt action, I have two boxes I take. I take my bolt action box, which has my rules, my order dice, usually has my little bits box, which has all my blast markers that I use for pen markers and some other
Yeah.
markers that I often use. And then I've got my general bits box, which has all my dice, rulers, measuring tapes, again, more markers if I need them, some blue stones for marking objectives or laying out deployment zones. So that's all good accessories to have. We can almost do a whole show, Randy, on just what should you have in your miniature accessory kit.
Yeah.
Um, make a reserve list. So this is really a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, hadn't thought about it till
Actually,
David mentioned
actually,
it.
that's I think maybe Bo was talking about this as far as speed of the game.
Yep.
If you have a list of what you really want to put in reserve, you don't have to sit there and think about, okay, well, do I want to put this in reserve or that? If you got the list, you just boom, it's done.
Right. Right. And by the way, this particular list was pulled together by David Sauerkamp, who's one of the guys in our community. And thanks to him for
Yeah.
good looking slide and putting the list together. Um, basic game plan. I don't
Yeah.
know. Scream and leap, kill the other guy.
Yeah. So, you have a basic idea how your force works and how you want to use it. But
Right.
when you sit down at the table beforehand, you got to look at the table and say, how am I going to attack this table? You got to come up with you got to make the game plan right there and stick to it. That's the biggest thing.
I think for me, because I tend to run Panzer Grenadiers for tournament play, and I want to run my British. The other army I'm working on building is British Eighth Army with Bren carriers, but my basic game plan is to use the infantry to move up, seize objectives, seize good cover, use the armored half tracks with that machine gun to kind of provide a base of fire and make my opponent have to really think about where he wants to put his fire. And that's going to work whether I'm on offense or defense. On offense, that machine gun's putting out pins and maybe going on ambush to keep somebody from moving in on my infantry while they're moving up. If I'm on defense, again, the infantry's in a good defensive position, and the half track is somewhere nearby, providing that extra firepower, and that's double good with Germans because you get that extra machine gun. But yeah, I think you're right. It's a combo platter. Kind of have an idea of how your unit should function, and then generally, and then a plan when you look at the table. Um, get answers beforehand, Randy. You're real good about this. I think you bounced a couple copies of your list by me. Several people did, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. I didn't have to kick any lists back. I didn't see any that looked, oh my gosh, this is crazy. The fact, if you're using Easy Army like you do, Randy, or if you're using the Warlord app, that's pretty much going to keep you on the rails. What you
Yeah.
really got to watch for is any handwritten lists.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And I to this same thing here, when guys come to a tournament, they really need to have a printed copy, even if they only have one.
right.
It's really annoying when somebody says, "Oh, it's on my phone here. Let me show you." It's like, you know, it's small, it's hard to read. It takes so much time to go through that process. Just print it off. It's so easy to print it off.
Well, for our tournament, that's a requirement that you bring 2 printed copies of your list. One for
Yeah.
you, one for your opponent to look at. I know I had a tournament one time I was running, and fella showed up, didn't send me his list, showed up with his on his phone. I didn't enforce because it
Can't even
would
see
have
that, but
caused more trouble. Yeah, it would have caused
yeah.
more trouble than what it was worth. But I'm like you, don't and this one here, if I got a late person who shows up on my list is on my phone, well, here's my email address, send it here because I'll have my laptop with me anyway. So
Yeah.
that'll be workable. But I'm gonna have a copy, but you should have a hard copy. I could get into a whole tear about the overuse sometimes of our phones. Um, anyway, so we won't go down that rabbit trail. But get answers, and that's even a good answer to get. Hey, if my army list is on my phone, is it as good as it being printed out? No, we really want to have it printed out so everybody can look
Yeah.
at it. Um,
Yeah.
make sure you have snacks and drinks. BYOB. Bring your own booze. Not literally booze, but um, Randy, you always bring that big pitcher of iced tea.
Green tea and you always really want to have some kind of sugary snacks because it can be, all day thing. You can get a little dragged down. Some candy really helps keep you going.
Snickers.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
satisfies.
You're not
So
yourself
yeah,
without it. Those
that's right. That's
commercials are
right.
true.
But yeah, I actually have a whole lunchbox that I'll usually pack with snacks and drinks and fruit,
Mhm.
and that gets me through those long periods. Whether I'm TO or vending or whatever, I always have a snack bag with me, and
Yeah.
it has come in handy more times than I can shake a stick at. Now we'll break for lunch, and we have several places around here that people can eat. I think I allowed an hour and a quarter for lunch. There's plenty of time. And that's another opportunity too for folks to restock on snacks and drinks. We're going to have drinks there. We're going to have snacks there as well for purchase. So they'll be there. But always good to make sure you cover your own bases just in case. And Saints, give yourself enough time. And I'm looking right in the mirror saying that one.
It's a shame. I know Cerebus, they had when they had their tournaments, they had some kind of a gut wagon come by with like the tacos and enchiladas and stuff in it. It's a shame
Yeah.
we don't have a source for that where we could, have them say, "Hey, we're on lunch between. Come by and guys will buy food from you."
You know what? That might be something to talk to. There are all kinds of food trucks in Savannah.
Yeah.
That might be something to talk to somebody about, especially if I know somebody. We'll follow up on that. Y'all keep watching for our tournaments because we're going to do another one in June, and we may do something special for the next tournament. I have a couple of ideas, so that
Okay.
sounds good. Give yourself enough time to get to the tournament so you don't slide in sideways. You got time to get there, make sure your army's all together. Oh, taking 3 steps back, one of your accessories, super glue and plastic glue. Got to have it. And we're all bad about
Yeah.
having it. But
Stuff
yeah.
breaks. Stuff will break.
Yeah. But give yourself enough time. Get there, try and get there 30 minutes before to start. So you got time to get out, get your army situated, job on with the folks. And and give yourself enough time to get rest the night before so you're fresh and ready to play the next day. We
Yeah.
first is
Honestly,
all about having fun. Go ahead, Randy.
yeah, I like to get there early, especially tables that I'm not familiar with, and just
Yep,
go and study every table. How would I play this table if I was on it?
good
Rather than
idea.
wait until I'm assigned a table, I've already got an idea going in what I want to do.
What are you looking for when you look at the tables?
Usually how my troops would move across the table. If it was an objective scenario, how would I get to them? Do I want to outflank on this table? If it's a movement across the board, how would I do that? That's pretty much it. And the cover, of course. Obviously, what kind of cover do I want to try to utilize for my army in certain units,
I'm
like
always
especially with my light mortars, because I'm looking for a clump of trees somewhere that I can deploy behind and then move into during the game.
got it.
Yeah,
Wow.
you lost your
Did your
light there, Mike.
did your screen blank?
Mine
That was
did
odd.
not. You got a little dark there
Okay,
for a
good.
second.
Yeah, it blinked off like was trying to go to sleep, I guess, because I wasn't doing enough. That's
Uh,
odd. Yeah.
Usually
Sorry
the
about that. If
program will
anybody
keep it
saw the
alive.
screen blank out. Sir?
Yeah, yeah. Usually, if you got a
Um,
program on like that, it'll keep it alive.
you would think. Yeah. Something I like to look for when I'm looking at tables, I'm always looking at defensive positions, kind of like you. And then because I tend to run, I'm a charter member of the Machine Gun Mafia, so I've been running them since V2. So I'm always looking for sight lines.
Yeah,
Especially if and then the new machine guns have newer rules now. Machine guns have even more range, so they're even more effective. And Saints knows your anti-tank rifles with 48 inches. If you can set your that ATR where somebody's not looking for it, and he can reach 48 inches across on an ambush and snap somebody, especially if he can snap a vehicle, that could ruin somebody's day. So
you
that's
you
all
would
kind
be
of things I look for.
Yeah, you would be surprised, Mike. Anti-tank rifle is a small unit, and if it's based really well, where it's in, to give it some weeds and stuff, so and you place it in some terrain, people will forget it's there if it's on ambush, and they'll drive in front of it, and you can pop a shot on them.
Camouflage works, folks. It
It
even
does.
works it works in real life on the tabletop. And you're right.
Yeah.
I've never done that with an ATR. I have done it, believe it or not, with a Stug. I had it
Oh
camouflaged
gosh, how they
behind
miss a
something.
Stug? How
It
did
was
somebody
great.
miss that?
Well, of course, I do mine in multicam, and he was tucked behind a bush.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so that's pretty good. I like it. That's a good
Well,
reminder.
to that point, my Comet, I've got a picture of one that has tree limbs attached to it. They did the German camo where they stuck a bunch of foliage on it. So I've been wanting to do it. I just didn't have enough time to do it for this tournament, but if I use it going forward, I may go ahead and do that to it.
Not a bad idea. It'll be a cool
Yeah,
project, and to your point, might just blend in enough to startle somebody. The other thing
yeah.
I like to do is paint all my German armor in the same pattern, and you'd be surprised the number of times people mistake a panther for a Stug. Oh, it's just a Stug. No, it's a panther. Sucks to be you.
Kaboom.
Yeah. So very cool. So there's some ideas, guys. Can't again, prep, paint, read your rules, read your errata. I think they just dropped a new set of errata, so know that. Armies of Germany book is out if you've got a copy of it. It's good to know. There will be, we'll get to this in just a minute. And then also read the rules also for the minor nations because they're all in play. And right now, again, the minor nations are all free PDFs. So it's not like it's going to cost you anything to download them and look them up.
Yeah.
Another bolt action, another Savannah Garrison unique thing we do on our spring tournament is bolt action bingo. So there's different things you can do here. If you do them, you mark them off. Outflank, first on an objective in a game, kill a full infantry squad, kill an officer, kill a tank. There's a free space right in the middle of this one. Those move around, but fill in a row and you win a prize. So there you go. It's going to be fun.
So, does
And
that work diagonally too, Mike?
sure does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So diagonally or across, 5 across, and each row actually has a star. So you really generally just got to fill in 4. So there you go.
Yeah.
But this will be fun. There'll be some small prize you'll win for that. It'll be great. So who's coming? Well, so far here's what we have. Got 4 British armies, including
Really?
Randy's.
4 British. That's, I would
Yeah.
have thought Germans would have been ahead,
Well,
in the
there's
list.
I like to play Germans, British, and Americans depending on my mood. My tournament army right now is German because I have the most for it, just because of different things. But the British get a lot of love, and as you know, they're a solid army to play, and they're in the core rules. Not surprised, and I hear what you're saying. Not surprised to see as many German armies as we do, because of course their book is out, and the
Yeah.
book has done well. I mean, everybody's and if you're in the Savannah area Saturday and you want to come by and see us, please do. Just drop in, say hi. We might throw a soda and a bag of chips in your hand. I'll have the store set up. It'll be fun. Um, and then the Italians continue to be popular as an army. They look good. They play differently. They're fun. U.S. Army, again up there, one of the majors. And
Yeah.
then the others are people who, Finland. I know who's playing Finland. Oh, our buddy Brent's playing Finland. So Finland, Hungarians got somebody bring. We've got a guy in our group. He plays Hungarians in Flames of War and in Bolt Action. So
Yeah.
he loves him some Hungarians. And then we've got a Japanese player. So it's a good mix. I think a couple tournaments ago we had one tournament where there were no German armies represented. That was amazing. So
Yeah.
a a good mix. This will certainly keep people hopping and guessing. If you do the math here, there's 17 armies listed here. So again, we got room for one more, but it's going to be fun. I think our players are really going to enjoy it. I know we always get comments about how friendly our teams are. We've got some new people coming, and I'm kind of going to try and match some of the new folks up with some experienced old folks that won't rabbit punch them. You hear that, Randy? No beating up on the new guys. So we're ready. We are excited. We love putting this on. For those of you that don't know, Randy actually he's the assistant tournament organizer for this event, and he does a lot of legwork behind the scenes to help keep the thing moving. And I'm real grateful. Randy, got anything else for the folks before we wrap it up?
Let's see. Were we gonna expose my list, or we don't have time for that? Probably. Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, we'll let everybody be surprised. It'll be a Randy list. It'll be
I
fun. You'll have to
I've got
play
a few
well if you're going to beat it.
surprises in it to say. There's a
Yeah,
couple units there I don't think people will think I'm bringing, so we'll see how it goes.
I like it. I like it. That
Yeah.
is half the fun, is you surprising other people with your mix and other people surprising you and then you responding to it, which is half the fun of the game. All right. Well, fantastic. Well, folks, not too long a video this week with the Mike and Randy show. Like I said, we're both getting ready for the tournament. Randy's got some terrain he's getting together. I'm getting a lot of the paperwork together. If you're in the area Saturday, a live church in Pooler, Georgia, you can look us up online. Come on by and meet the crew. And if you're in Savannah, we would love to have you join our HMGS group, Savannah Garrison. We put on events. Shoot, it seems like at least once a week we're doing something. I think next
Yeah.
week we're doing samurai games on Friday, plus whatever else people want to bring. So we do a little bit of everything. All that being said, thanks for watching, folks. Again, do the YouTube things for us. Click like, click subscribe to be kept up to date on what we do. We do more things than just bolt action. For example, yesterday I dropped a video on the new chivalry line from Wargames Atlantic, and so you might want to look that up if you're into knights and bashing people. So there you go. Click like, click subscribe. Best way to support the channel: buy some merchandise from the store. Literally keeps my lights on, so I appreciate it. Randy, anything for the folks before we go?
No, just check out my channel, Bolt Action 1944. I'm trying to put out new stuff at least once a week. So
I'll put a link, and I'll have a link to Randy's channel in the comment section below. Randy does different things, which is awesome. So it's a great community. By the way, on the last video we did, we actually had somebody said, "Hey, the video was helpful." So
yeah,
leave comments in the comment section. That helps the YouTube algorithm, and that encourages us. All right. With all that being said, I think we're going to wrap this show up, and hope to see you folks Saturday, or at least see you online. Thanks for watching.
all right.